All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the October webinar for the National High School Golf Association. As always, I'm Chris Noble, manager of the NHSGA, and this month, guys, we're going to take a little bit of time and talk about college golf, specifically opportunities available for you, scholarship options, really next steps to start exploring a lot of schools as you get into the fall and the winter months. You have more time on your hands. Really an important time to start contacting as many college coaches as possible to explore options for you to really play at that next level. So without further ado, just getting into the actual outline of the class, really what we're going to discuss here today, we're going to talk about a number of schools that have college golf. What does that look like? How does that break down by division level? Types of scholarships available. Question I get quite often is there such a thing as a full college golf scholarship? And I believe you're going to get a better taste of, okay, is that possible? What does a average athletic scholarship look like with academics? What levels are available with that? So we're definitely going to discuss the differences between the two, what the numbers look like, really the size of a golf team. What does, how many kids are generally on the roster, especially for a boys team versus a girls? How do you become eligible to play? So what are your next steps, especially if you're a freshman or a sophomore or even a junior in high school right now and you want to play at that next level? And also on our end, tools available that you can use free of charge to start exploring what options are out there and really the best ways of getting in touch with these college coaches. So keeping that in mind, and really for a lot of you, you've probably watched some of our webinars in the past. For some of you, this might be the first time. And in terms of the NHSGA, who we are, what we do, we are dedicated to the growth and recognition of high school golf. For a lot of you, you've probably seen recent news releases on our National Invitational Tournament that we're hosting next June in Orlando, and we're ecstatic to be able to recognize high school golf on a high level. So really through leaderboards, education, content, webinars such as these, and really showcasing the great skill and variety that high school golf has to offer, we're giving it that true home that's been long overdue. Regarding myself, everyone, again, Chris Noble here, and my background is really within golf. Worked for a couple of years at a company called NCSA, Next College Student Athlete, and I work with a little over 2,000 families really looking to play college golf, walking them through the recruiting process, how to get in touch with the right coaches, next steps for them as well. High school college golf days, I was a four-time All-State recipient for the Michigan High School Athletic Association, also played for an NAI school in South Bend, Indiana, making it to the national championship as well. So getting right into the heart of the matter, guys, in terms of colleges that offer golf, and a few stats that I think you should be aware of are there's over 200,000 high school golfers throughout the country. It's a pretty impressive number, and only about 7.5% of them are going to go on to play at that varsity level in college. So realizing that you have to start early and really getting in touch with as many coaches as possible, keep in mind that you have to go to them, the coach. They're not going to come to you. Okay, so just something to keep in mind. And even in terms of the actual number of varsity programs, a little over 1,300 schools in 2017-18 that sponsored varsity golf in the U.S. Now, I know for a lot of you, you want to play D1. I get it. I've been there. I think that's a good goal that you should have, but at the same time, explore other options. So as you can see here, you have not only NCAA Division I, but you have 2, 3, even NAI programs, excuse me, National Junior Collegiate or National Junior College Association, which are 2-year schools as well, which are other great options for you. So always realize that it's not just your Division I schools that you should be looking at. Yes, have a goal, have those reach schools, but at the same time, just because a school might be at a lower division level, it still could be a great option for you. So really keep that in mind, and keeping an open mind and casting a wide net over as many schools as possible, it'll serve you well throughout this process, okay? Average golf scholarships available. So I did want to give everyone here some perspective on what a typical scholarship would look like. And again, across the board, keep in mind there's generally not going to be a ton of full scholarships for college golf. And part of the reason is the size of the teams is, well, you're typically going to find a college golf team anywhere from 8, 10, 12 players. So these college coaches have to spread out that money pretty evenly amongst players that they have on their team. So for an NCAA Division I program, you're looking generally at that $16,000 to $17,000 range. Keep in mind, these numbers are per year. Okay, and this is just athletic. This is not including your academic monies. And then as you get to your Division II level, around $6,200 for men, $7,600 for women. For my ladies in here, as you can see, consistently across the board, you generally have a little bit more from a scholarship standpoint and even funding for the girls golf team, which is a great thing. The one thing you will notice with your NCAA D3 programs, there is no athletic scholarship money available. It's just how the division level works. You can receive a scholarship, but just keep in mind it's going to be academic, okay, or merit-based rather than athletic. And then for your NAI schools, which is the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics, that's the level I played at, think of it as just a completely different governing body than the NCAA. You can receive both athletic and academic scholarship. It's very similar to a D2 NCAA from a competitive standpoint, and just giving you a few numbers there. And then obviously with your junior college is the fact that typically those are going to be a little bit less expensive. You're going to go there for 2 years, and then you'll have to actually transfer into a 4-year school. Again, you're looking at about $1,800 per year for the men's side, about $2,200 per year on the women's side as well. Now, the average size of a college golf team, like I said, I did want to include this as well. You're looking at about anywhere from 7 to 11 players on the men's side. On the women's side, it's going to be a little bit smaller. Generally speaking, there's just a little bit less participation, especially on the high school standpoint for girls golf, even when you go over to women's college golf as well. But like I said, really that 8 to 10 player range is going to be the sweet spot. So keep in mind that whatever school you're looking at, take a look at the roster, how many players is the coach graduating, and that's going to give you a pretty good indication of how many players that they're going to plan on recruiting. So especially if it's a rebuilding year for a certain school where they might be looking at losing 3 or 4 seniors, that's good for you because that's going to give you a better opportunity to not only get on that team, but also, make sure that you would be able to compete and play, especially during your first few years of college. Now, a few items to keep in mind if you are looking to go the NCAA route. If you are looking to play the NCAA D1 or D2 level, you have to register with what's called the NCAA Eligibility Center. All it's doing is ensuring from an academic standpoint that you're cleared to play. So it looks at your GPA, it looks at your test scores, really your amateur status, just to make sure you are eligible to play and compete. If you are looking at the NCAA D3 level, you do not have to register. It's only D1 and D2 NCAA. If you're, on the other hand, looking at an NAI school, you have to register what's called the NAI Eligibility Center. It's the same thing. Again, it's looking at your academic records and just making sure that you are eligible to compete once you get into college. There is a fee involved, $65 for U.S. students on the NCAA and $80 for U.S. students for the NAI schools. What I would suggest is if you're in that sophomore year of your high school right now, I would just recommend taking care of this. It's a one-time fee, and like I said, it's just something that a coach will eventually ask you for, and just getting ahead of the curve and just making sure that you have all your documents in line. And like I said, if you do Google even the NCAA Eligibility Center or the NAI, you will be able to go to their website and really follow the next steps. It's pretty straightforward in terms of the forms you'll have to submit. Okay. Now, a tool that we do have available here, guys, at the NHSGA, which is something I'll show you here in a moment, is actually brand new. And it's a college search feature that is going to allow you to basically put in the name of a school, name of a college, and see, do they have college golf? And if so, do they have varsity programs? Do they have collegiate club golf programs available on their school? And then even the cooler thing will be you'll be able to actually contact the college golf coach directly from our site. So I would really strongly encourage you to go to the highschoolgolf.org site and check out some of these programs. We have a lot of great content as well in terms of how to write an email to a coach, how to have a phone call if you're going on a campus visit, what are some important questions for you to keep in mind. And if you have specific questions regarding, okay, the recruiting process, or I don't know what to do in this situation, contact me. Again, that's my background. I'm here to help. You have my email there. You have my cell phone as well. Like I said, it's my direct line. So I'd be happy to help with any of those questions or inquiries that you might have.